Welcome students. Today we are going to study about the chapter 2 in your machine designing subject, and the topic name is design of fastening element. Earlier we have studied about the introduction part of machine designing chapter, where we have studied about the general consideration of machine designing, what is the procedure of the machine designing, or the properties of any material, how to select it, the factor of safety or the safety precaution of the designer, and the last is the stress and strain curve of mild steel, where we are taking a ductile material. The basic is the mild steel, and in a UTM machine, that is universal testing machine, we are testing that according to our tensile stress how the mild steel is deformed accordingly. So now the chapter 2 is design of fastening element. Before we know that what is fastening of the element, we have to know that what is fastening. So often small machine components are joined together to form a large machine part. Design of joints is as important as that of machine components because a weak joint may spoil the utility of a carefully designed machine pad. Like if we are taking two plates or two iron plates, we have to join it by our concept. Then we have to fastening those plates by any kind of joints like your welded joint, your screw joint or riveted joint or knot bolt joint or pin joint or key joints. But if we are going to fastening it, then we have to take at least two materials or two plates or two rods accordingly. Then we can fastening it. Then mechanical joints are broadly classified into two classes: non-permanent joints and permanent joints. In this non-permanent joints or permanent joints, we can call as permanent fastening and temporary fastening. So non-permanent joints can be assembled and disassembled without damaging the components. Example like your threaded fasteners or your screw joints or keys and couplings. Those are the fastening joints. So this is the non-permanent joint is also called the temporary joint. What is the temporary joint or temporary fastening? It is the temporary fastening is the type of fastening which can be disassembled without destroying the connecting components, like your key joint, cutter joint, pin joint, or also knot bolt joint. But in the permanent joints, or we can say that the permanent fastening are those fastening which cannot be disassembled without destroying the connecting components. That means if we are going to differentiate two plates, then we have to destroy the both metals or the both fastenings. Then we are getting the two materials that is different between each other. Then riveted joint. Riveted joint, if we are going to study about riveted joint, first of all we know that we have to know that what is rivet. So a rivet is a short cylindrical bar like this here in the shown in the figure. Rivet is a short cylindrical bar with a head integral to it. This is the head part to this, from this to this. This is the head part of the rivet, and the rivet is seen like this, or rivet is showing like this. So rivet is a short cylindrical bar with a head integral to it. The cylindrical portion of the rivet is called body. This is the cylindrical part of the rivet, this one, from this to this. So this is also called, in your technical word, this is also called the shank, or in simple word we can say it the rivet body, from this to this level. And the lower portion of the shank is known as tail. After the shank, the lower part of the rivet from this to this is called the tail part of the rivet. So this is the whole total diagram of a rivet which we can use for the fastening, and the rivet joint is the permanent fastening process, where if we have to differentiate between two metals, then we have to destroy the metals or destroy the elements. This kind of component can also be joined by molecular force. For example, welded joints, braced joints, joints with adhesive, etc. Not until long ago, riveted joints were very often used to join structural members, means the structural work that will be very permanent. However, significant improvement in welding and bolted joints has curtailed the use of those joints. Even then, rivets are used in structures, ship bodies, bridges, tanks and sails. Sails means where the middle section of the sea where the petroleum or the raw of the petroleum are made. That is called sails, where high joint strength is required. Then this is the types of riveted joint. After we know that what is rivet or what is riveted joint, we are going to study about types of riveted joint. What does that mean? Generally, rivet joints are of two types. That is, one is lap joint and another one is the butt joint. But lap joint, in case of lap joint, one plate overlaps the another and the two plates are then riveted together. In this lap joint, like this, we are going to see it. This is the diagram of lap joint. Here, see, this is a plate, we are taking a plate, and here this is the another plate, we are taking the another plate, and this is the riveted joint. Riveted lap joint means here it is the rivet, this is the head part of the rivet, what we earlier have seen it, and this is the tail part of the rivet. This is the rivet, and this is the total hole, this is the total hole between the two plates, and we have to enter the rivets within it. Then these plates, the plate 1 and the plate 2 are joined together. This is the diagram of the whole lap joint, where the plate overlaps the another. Here the plate overlaps the another and the two plates are then riveted together. So the plates that are to be joined are brought face to face such that an overlap exists. Rivets are inserted on the overlapping portion. Single or multiple rows of rivets are used to give strength to the joint. Depending upon the number of rows, the riveted joints may be classified as single riveted lap joint, double or triple riveted lap joint, etc. When multiple joints are used, the arrangement of rivets between two neighboring rows may be of two kinds. In chain riveting, the adjacent rows have rivets in the same transverse line. According to this, we are going to see the diagram of the whole lap joint, where the first plate is overlaps with the another plate, and in this situation we are going to make a hole and enter the rivet on that two plates. Then the two plates are going to join together.